And welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we get rolling, let's give a quick shout out to some sponsors. Starting off with golfercbd.com. Check out golfercbd.com. Use promo code PPP for 10% off at checkout. What golfercbd.com is doing is Golfer CBD affects body's receptors that manage our thought process, motor activity, resistance to stress and pain, as well as the basic systems of the human body, such as cardiovascular, immune, respiratory, and muscular functions. Golfer CBD may influence a golfer's pain perception, response to inflammation, and perception of various sensations such as stress. We all know that when we're lining up a nice 3-footer for bird. Golfer CBD may positively affect the golfer's mood, motor functions, and the way we react to the environment, making Golfer CBD an essential tool for every golfer's toolkit. Make sure you guys check them out, golfercbd.com, golfercbdusa on Instagram. Promo code PPP10 for 10% off. As well, if you're local in the 518, check out 420 Bliss, 740 Hoosick Road, Troy, New York. Just up there with Ty and Rihanna from Jaunty today. Kicking it for a minute. Jaunty had a little setup over there. It was pretty cool. So I popped over to say hello. Shout out to Ty and company. They have everything you're looking for: flowers, pre-rolls, edibles, tinctures, vapes. They got the drinks. You name it, they have it. Let them know the Pitch Putt and Puff crew sent you. Also, make sure you go and check out Trouble Off the Tee, troubleofftetee.com. Promo code RGB for 15% off site-wide, as well as promo code PUFF for buy one, get one free on the polos. Also, make sure you check out the audiobook, now available on Audible as well, and Spotify, Trouble Off the Tee, written by Marty Minden, narrated by Jake Adams from Country Club Adjacent. Make sure you go and give that a listen. It's literally one of those where you might drive around the block one more time to finish a chapter. But tonight we're going to have some fellow podcasters on. Going to be introducing the Cart Boyz here in just a moment. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll get right back into it with our guest. Welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. I'd like to introduce our guest tonight. We got the Cart Boyz. We got Brooks and what is it, Mickey, right?
Mickey,
yeah, Mickey. Thanks for jumping on, guys. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, man, we're happy to be on.
Yeah, I've been following you guys since you guys took off on the Instagram and been kind of following the page. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you got into golf?
Go for it, Mick.
You want me to go?
Yeah, I want you to go.
Because if you start going, I'll just start interrupting you.
Exactly. That's the thing that happens here is like I talk and then he interrupts. So I just let him do it and then I'll fill in the blanks.
There you go.
If I'm worried, I'm like, man, you're really butchering this. Let me jump in. Me and Brooks were brothers. We initially got into golf. My dad had always played a little bit, casually, but we never went out with him. And we had some buddies who worked at a golf course. So when we turned 16, it was like, oh, they'll hire us at the golf course. We can get free golf. We can learn how to play this game. We can work with our buddies. And we can play with our dad. It's great. So we went and got this job at the golf course. Thought it was going to be way harder than it actually was. I think they were just looking for people with a pulse.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they hired us to be Cart Boyz and had an awesome time. Really, really enjoyed it. Honestly, 2008 is the reason that all got messed up because it really just tanked a bunch of luxury items, and country clubs are one of those luxury items. So kind of stopped our ability to honestly make money at the golf course because we were getting scheduled like an hour and a half every 2 weeks. So we just kept playing golf. Like when we got to college, we played a little bit more, and we just continued and continued. And I think we've picked it up a lot more the past handful of years, just because the older you get, the more money you make, and the more money you make, the more you can do things that take money, and golf takes money. So we've been trying to play a lot more.
I was gonna say that was kind of the thing, like growing up, is the reason we never golfed until we got, 16, 17. Like when we were even, because that's how we got the name to the podcast, obviously, Cart Boyz, is because we started out as Cart Boyz. Like that was our intro into golf and I love it. And I think it's, I'm glad that we did that. And the thing is like, we didn't grow up playing golf. I mean, my parents were in, nonprofit work. And so it's not like they were making like big money. If you're playing on a golf course, especially in most areas, like we lived in, it wasn't like a crazy nice area, but we lived in a fine area. And there were a couple private courses within, 15, 20 minutes away. But the only way you're going to be able to work there is if your parents or someone has enough money to pay the fees to, have a membership to a private course. And that's not something that was accessible to us. So I think this is the thing that made it accessible to us to start playing is, what were you going to say, Mick? I know you're already interrupting, bro.
They were like back in the day, playing golf, at least where we were, was not as accessible as it is now. It is way more accessible now than it ever was back then. It felt like, I mean, you had to have money to play. Where we were no public courses. Like it was, so we just never did.
Yeah. And so us being Cart Boyz, it gave us the opportunity to do that. Give us the opportunity to like play with our dad. And the funny, when we worked there, we never had our own set of clubs even. Like we borrowed clubs from people when we did stuff. Like I remember working at the course and going out there and asking one of my brother's good buddies, like, hey, he never played. He had a set of clubs. Like, hey, can I borrow your clubs? Like the first set of clubs I ever bought were from a garage sale. And I think it was a set of Cobra clubs. It came with a bag and it came with pitching wedge through, what was it? Like pitching wedge through like a 4-iron or maybe a 5-iron. I think I paid like $15-20 for it. And that's what I used. But I mean, that was even down the road. And so we would play a little bit, but it was nothing crazy. And we always loved it. I mean, my favorite part of working on the golf course was the food. The food was awesome. Dude, we used to go in and like
chicken wrap.
Yeah, dude, the buffalo chicken wrap. I'll never forget that thing, dude. It was delicious.
I get thinking about it, dude. It had the perfect buffalo sauce. The chicken was fried.
We cared more about the chicken than we did about the money we made in the golf. It was like, because we would go out there and like pick balls on the range, and then we would have to go pick balls on the chipping green and stuff like that. And we would wash carts and do the things like that. But, I mean, it was funny because I remember going to because they had like a restaurant on there.
Them fries were crispy, dude.
Yeah, the fries were good, dude. But think about the food. It's like, dude, I missed it. It was so good. And then you get the ranch and you dip your thing in the ranch. It was so good. I'll never forget it. I want it again, but I found nobody who can make a buffalo wrap as good as them.
No.
But no, dude, we would go out there and we would we'd go on the range. And it was funny because there was I like reminiscing on this because we don't talk about it a lot. Like we did, like when we first started our podcast, we told our kind of backstory, and that's the last time. That was like 6-7 months ago, and then we haven't talked about it again. But it's always funny. We would go out on the range, and like the ball picker that would pick up all the golf balls, and we would go out there, and like one of the doors on the picker was broke. There was no door on it, and so it was like crazy. So it was always
only make like left turns, dude.
You can only turn one way.
Whip it back quick,
yeah, and we were just praying that people wouldn't like slice into the side. It was like, God, I hope that their balls go straight and they don't like hit sideways in. But no, it was always fun. I mean, we would do that, and dude, I loved working there. It was probably probably the most fun job I ever had because we worked with our friends,
right?
And it was an awesome time. Then at night we would when they would close down, someone would take the front 9 and someone would take the back 9, and whoever could get all the pins the fastest. So we'd start it and we'd all be driving, trying to pick all the pins, and like a 2-man team. It was hilarious.
That's
and
funny.
The funny thing was, there's a bunch of juniors and seniors in high school.
Right.
and all they would do was collect all the beers that the
people would leave in their carts.
Little juniors and seniors in high school getting turned on 3 beers and fucking racing around the front and back.
Hell yeah.
One dumbass, he decided he was going to take the beverage cart, the cart girl cart.
Yeah.
And there's a massive hill from the to the 18th green, and I think, dude, if I'm not mistaken, that hill was probably 100 yards and steep. Like, it was a massive ass hill. Dude, this dude got so lit that night. He took this thing off. I wasn't even there. They're telling me the story. I come in the next morning.
The roof's caved in.
Bro, I see this pancaked.
Oh my God.
And my boss was sitting there going, I'm gonna make up a name. I can't remember his name. He's like, is Mitch in yet? And I was like, I haven't seen him. And then all of a sudden you see him walk around the corner and he goes, Mitch, we gotta talk. And he goes, I'm fired, aren't I? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, all right, well, thanks, guys. It's the best. It was such a fun job.
I'm surprised he even showed up.
Dude, yeah.
Exactly.
He knew. I'm surprised he woke up that morning, dude.
Man.
But yeah, that's honestly the way that we got into golf. And that's the thing, like, we're not good golfers at all. And like, if anybody listens to our podcast who knows, like, we always talk about, like, we're not good golfers. I'm not the type of person who knows everyone's stats. Like, I know who my favorite golfers are. I like certain people. I like talking about things when they happen, but I don't stats are like whatever to me. Like, I'm not ESPN. He's not ESPN. We're not Sports Center. We're not the Golf Channel. We try to make it to be like the conversations we have are the conversations that anybody has on like a golf course, like just bullshit. And like, we're playing bullshit. Like, that's just how it is. Like, we talk about golf, but 70% of the time, like, we don't. We just literally talk and tell stories and laugh and, do stuff like that because golf is fun. I mean, for me, I love golf as a thing to like get with my friends. Like, my buddy's in town for his birthday right now. And the thing we're doing tomorrow, we're all going. He's from Atlanta. He's coming up to Nashville. He's here right now. And we decided we're going to go play. We're going to all golf tomorrow because we all love it. We're not all good. Who gives a shit? We just go out there and drink and have a good time. And that's why I love golf. It brings people together, like friends and strangers. Mm-hmm. It's so much fun. So
it's cool too. Cause like for me, for example, so like the whole pitch putt and putt thing, the way it all started is I started with like 4 of my buddies and we were playing every Sunday. Then a couple of guys were like, yo, we want to play. So I grabbed an extra tee time. And then it turned into 8 people. I was like, well, why don't we put a couple bucks on this? So then we started doing a little gambling. And then it was the same 8 people week after week after week. So then, like, and it's guys too. Like, for example, I got my one buddy, Fairway Mike. He's 70 years old, retired truck driver. I met him in my golf league. Well, I play every single day during the week with Fairway Mike, who's one of my best friends. Like, literally, this guy is awesome. And, like, just meet it. Like, I wouldn't have had that relationship if it wasn't for golf. My man, Hank, same thing. Like, he's an older guy, retired. He plays a couple days a week with us when his wife lets him out of the house. And most of the time she's kicking him out. But like,
there you go.
It's relationships you don't have. And then like getting out with your old man, like getting out and playing with your old man, that's, you can't beat that. Like stuff like that's irreplaceable. Now I have my 6-year-old daughter. I took her out for the first time last week. Like golf is just bringing everybody. My friends were even cool with my little daughter. Like they're playing a serious round. I'm like, guys, I got my daughter with me. Like, that's all right. Bring her with. Dude, she piped one about 80 yards with her hybrid. I was like, all right, we got something cooking here.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
It was cool. It's cool. So it's just the experiences and the relationships you make on a golf course. A lot of business deals done on a golf course. The game of golf it's the only game that really brings everybody together.
Yep.
Exactly. And I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before on our podcast, but like, especially since 2000 and like 2020, when the COVID thing happened, I feel like that's the thing that really ramped everything up to really, because before then, like it brought people together to an extent, but it was still like your country club crowd in a sense. Even if it was public courses, it's like your boys who wear like the polo shirts and the like the khaki pants and the khaki shorts and stuff like that and the boat shoes. But it's not like that anymore, dude. You can see you roll up on a dude who looks like he just, he rolled out of like his construction job, or a dude who like he skateboarded in there or something like that. It's like, it's so many different types of people now, which I love because I feel like you meet a lot more different people now. But yeah, dude, 2020 sucked, but it was awesome for specifically golf, the game of golf. It was amazing.
So that's all we could do. There was nothing else to do, especially there's nothing to do up here anyway, like I was telling you guys before. So we're out, like I said, we're out there as much as we can, literally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially, that's all that people did around here. I mean, I was in Nashville. I moved to Nashville in 2020 at the very beginning before COVID started, like literally a month before COVID started. And it was funny because when it started, like nobody, it was funny because when it first started, people, they're like shut down the golf course, but nobody's allowed on them. But after a while, they're like, we don't, like the private courses were different, but the public courses around, especially the city courses that are ran by the government, like, we don't give a shit if you come out here. Like you play for free, like nobody's there, but you can do kind of whatever you want or leave the pins out and do the things. And, like everyone played. And then there's some cool courses here in Nashville that like are surrounded by parks where like trails where people walk around. And so people, they come out here and they go to like a bar because, Nashville's a party town. Yeah. And so they grab drinks and, like dudes with their girls would come out and their girls would like walk the track with their other girlfriends drinking. And like the dudes would come out and play golf while their girls walk around. It was just like a weird time, but it was cool.
Yeah, it was different. Did you guys, so our regulations obviously were New York was shut down. We had at some courses, dude, they had plexiglass. It's so funny to think back. They had plexiglass in between the two people in the cart.
No, we didn't have nothing like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I swear to you, there was a couple.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was all like jigged up where it was like tied up on one end, tied up on the. I'm like, yo, and like we'd be out there because obviously pitch, putt, and puff. I'm trying to pass it because we didn't give a shit. I'm trying to pass the joint to my buddy, and I'd have to like reach up over the throw it over the cart to him or reach to the front. It was complete chaos. I'm like, yo. Then they had like on the bottom of the pins, you couldn't put your hand in the cup. So
they did have the noodles,
the pool noodles.
Yeah, the noodles. Yeah, we had the noodles.
Mickey Mouse bullshit is this. But then you would have the guys like hitting, a 20-footer and hit as hard as they can to keep it on the line. That's an eagle. I'm like, bro, you think that would fall? Come on, cuz.
That's the funniest thing. Like we never had any like being in. So the thing about where we are, we're in Tennessee, we're in Nashville. Tennessee, the Southeast is conservative.
Yeah.
But the cities like Atlanta, Nashville, Chattanooga, they're pretty liberal cities.
Yeah, the bigger cities, yeah.
Exactly. So the only places we had crazy stuff like plexiglass and stuff was like the trendy restaurants. And everywhere else, nobody cared. Like it literally when you were down in the city, but I remember during going through COVID, we had this beach bar. It was on the lake that we would go to, and it's up in like basically bumfuck Nashville. So like 20, 30 minutes north where nobody went. It was just like it's a very conservative, kind of a redneck area almost. Dude, that's where we would go hang out because like they didn't care about COVID or like, we're like, dude, this is fun. Like people, they're cool up there. Like we'd go out. It's an indoor, outdoor, mainly outdoor. Like even their indoor was kind of outdoor because it's like a beach bar almost. And so they had like volleyball and we'd go hang out up there. It's one of the few places that you could go because especially it was pretty locked down here for like a month. And then after a month, people started like, how long were y'all locked down? Like 6 months?
Bro, it felt like years.
Yeah.
I'd say a good 9 months we were like fully, completely locked down. Like
that's so crazy.
Almost a year.
See, that's here in Tennessee, there are some people who did go crazy. And looking back on it, we had it a lot easier than most people because it's Tennessee, But we lived right in Nashville. The craziest thing is, so I lived technically in the city limits. We had bought a house in the city limits right before COVID hit, but it was south. So I could go 15 minutes up and it was a totally different environment than if I were to go 15 minutes south. 15 minutes south, you would think COVID didn't exist.
Yep.
15 minutes north, you thought you were in New York City.
Yeah.
I still remember because I was doing a lot of renovations on my house. So I spent a ton of time in Lowe's, which at that time was the best place to go because Lowe's was the only place in Nashville where it also felt like COVID didn't exist. You had hundreds of people all piled into Lowe's doing their home projects because they're stuck in their home. And we're all walking around. And I remember because I was like, thank God, dude, I don't have to wear a mask in this place. Like, it's great. Because I just didn't.
Yeah, I'm the same, man. Believe me, I did not. I got a lot of shit for that up here, but I did not wear that fucking thing.
My whole thing was in Nashville, a business could get fined if somebody ratted out the business because somebody didn't have a mask on. So if I was going into a business and they were scared about it, like I don't want to get fined, I'd be like, yo, I'm trying to keep small businesses up. I'd throw on my mask for them because
Right.
like I want to help out my small business people. But dude, I walked into Lowe's and I still remember this dude. He had to be unhinged, bro. Like, dude, I don't know if he hadn't had sex in a decade, but he was bent up, dude. He was like, and I remember he looked at me. I'm walking through, having a good ass day, picking up some lumber, dude. And this dude looks at me and he's like, "Put on your fucking mask!" Like gets in my, and I just looked at him and I was like, "Bro, you're in Lowe's." And I kept walking. I was like, "What the hell was that?" Bro?
Karens, man, Karens.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was tough up here. Like I work in the grocery chain, so there was a couple stores I was asked to not come back in because one time I had that shit below my nose and they gave me a hard time, and I turned around and like called out 5 of their employees, and me and the dude got into it, and he asked me not to return to the store. I got some shit for that.
Please do not return, sir.
Yeah, it was some bullshit. That drove me nuts, man. The whole situation. Like I said, it dragged on up here too. It's just and you still see people like driving in their car by themselves with the windows up with a mask on in June and July. It's like, what are you doing? What?
Yeah, you still see. I mean, you still see it very rarely. It's very rare here in Nashville that you see stuff like that. But like the only place I really went to during COVID that was pretty locked down is me and my wife went to Boston. It was pretty rough there. Yeah, you know, because that's where like all the medicine is, like the medical schools and all that, like Harvard and Yale and all the Ivy Leagues, and so they think they're smarter than everybody. And so, dude, they're like hardcore. They were hardcore in Boston. It was.
I love it out there. Nuts. Boston's nice as hell. I'm actually, so what's cool about where I am, I'm like 2 hours, 2 hours to the city, and then I'm like the same distance to Boston.
That's awesome.
It's a nice little point. Like being a Miami fan, when they play BC, I can jump over there. I'm 2.5 hours to Syracuse if they play there. So
that's awesome.
Pretty nice little setup up here. But I got to travel to go do something. That's the thing. I got to hop in the car in 2 hours. But let's get back into the podcast thing. So how did you guys, what made you guys want to start the podcast? Where did that whole thing come from?
Oh, bro, man. We just like to talk and people stopped listening to us in our inner circle. So we're like, fuck it, let's record. No, we've always talked about doing a podcast.
I was trying to get Mickey to do a podcast literally probably 7-8 years ago, but he was always busy. Like I was wanting to do podcasts when they weren't cool. Like when nobody did podcasts. It's always kind of been like a tech nerd in a sense. And I wanted him to do it. And he's like, no, man, I got a job. Like I don't have time for it. I was like, dude, it's not that. Just do it. And it was harder back then. Like they make it way easier now to do podcasts than it was like 8-9 years ago. But yeah, I tried to get him forever. And then finally, like, what was that? Like 7-8 months ago, you're like, let's do it. But you got inspired when we went to Random Golf Club's deal.
Yeah, dude.
I got about that.
We went to the Random Golf Club thing and I was just like, oh, this is crazy. Normal people golf now. Like normal people had been golfing for a few years, but I didn't really pay attention. And I go to that Random Golf Club event, like the Mad Scramble that they do. And I looked around and I was like, oh, all these people are like us. Wait, this is really fun. Let's just talk about all this stuff. Like if there's people like us that are in the industry, maybe there's people who want to listen to people like themselves, you know? So that's when I called him up and I was like, hey, did you want to go ahead and start that podcast? And he was like, yeah, why not? So we did. We actually argued a little bit about what the podcast was going to be about. We finally landed on golf. I think it started off as golf, and then we were like bickering back and forth about like, well, what if it was this? What if it was this? Does it have to be this? And I was like, let's just do a golf podcast and let's see how much we actually talk about golf.
Yeah. And I think the reason I was like, we kind of got an argument, kind of hung up about the golf thing is like I said earlier, it's like, I don't feel like I know enough about golf, you know, the statistics, everything's going on every single day. Like I don't have time. Just like you probably don't have time to look and see what's going on every day. Like we have real jobs, you know what I'm saying?
When you were just saying that a few minutes ago, I'm literally sitting here going, I get it. Like I don't even know like like I love playing golf 100%,
Yeah.
but like I don't really have. I got a 6-year-old I got to entertain. I got my own things I'm doing. I'm doing this. I'm setting up the pitch putt and puff on Sundays. Like I got just family time, working my job. Like where am I going to be able to sit down on a Saturday and Sunday and watch someone else play golf for 8 hours? Like
Exactly.
I don't have the time. Like I'm lucky enough. Like I'll watch the NBA Finals tonight. I'll probably just catch the second half before I crash out, and I'll look up when I wake up in the morning and see who won. Like that's just it. I don't have time to do it anymore. It's tough. It's
Bro,
really tough.
I don't remember the last time I actually finished a sports game that wasn't college football. Like,
No, same. 100. I watch
Dude,
every
I will
single
watch
tournament
college
came out.
football 100% of the time, but that's it.
yeah.
That's it. That's the only one.
And the thing about golf is okay, I can watch the end of a golf tournament because it ends before dinner starts.
Yep.
All the other sports, they're like, you know what? Nobody's got jobs in the morning. Nobody's got to wake up at 5 a.m. or in your case, be to work at 4 a.m. Like I don't get how they freaking schedule this stuff. I got shit to do. And it ain't watching the second half of your basketball game. So yeah, I'm the same. I wake up in the morning and I click on the ESPN app and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Oh.
Yeah. You got it. It's too tough. And like that's the same thing. Like I kind of when I first started doing the podcast, like it was just me and the guys literally chopping it up. And like my one buddy Bub was on for a little while, and then he had some personal things pop up, so he had to hop off. And then I really didn't do it. I started this last May. And then I didn't really have content for December, January. We're not out there golfing. We weren't in the simulators like we were. So I had to take the route of like, all right, how am I going to do this? I want to get this going. I had 150 followers at Christmas. And then I slowly started reaching out to guests and trying to get interviews and stuff like that. And slowly built it up. I'm almost to 2,000 followers now. I've interviewed some people I never thought I would speak to, like you guys are from down south, hip hop wise. Dero, the rapper, he was on here.
It's awesome.
I've had I have a real crazy interview coming up. I'll tell you guys off air because I want to make sure it goes through.
Nice.
But I've had like E-Zone from We Don't Smoke the Same podcast. He's affiliated like Cypress Hill and Be Real. My man XG from Tinfoil Hat. I'm a big conspiracy guy. Like
hey, I love that. I love a good conspiracy.
I got 1,000 of them for you. So like stuff like that, like people I watch, like I'm not afraid to reach out to people either. So like it's just if they say no, all right, whatever. Like I've had George Dundon on here, real cool dude. Like now we have I text with the guy, I talk to him all the time. Gonna come up from Florida to play some golf with us and shit. Like just cool shit like that, like the relationships and the networking.
Exactly.
Is really the cool part about it. And I've seen you guys had some pretty cool guests on.
Oh yeah, we've had a few. I mean, it's cool to like meet. It's funny because like we've had some unlikely relationships blossom in a sense. Like I don't know how much you know about like fling golf, but like a bunch of those guys, we kind of connected with them a little bit, and like we follow each other pretty closely, and we've had them on the podcast. Like it's funny because a lot of people still don't know about fling golf, but they're trying to actually turn into like an Olympic sport. So it's basically golf with a lacrosse stick, which is hilarious. And I was like, again, we're the type of people, it doesn't have to be, we're just trying to build relationships and meet people, you know, because that's why I do this, is because I think it's cool to talk to people. And they like hit us up and he's like, yo, bro, like this is fling golf. I mean, it's not regular golf, but you know, it's we're all like golfers. We all started in real golf and decided to do this thing.
I still remember before the first interview with our first fling golf guy, and I was like, what is fling golf? Like, what the fuck is this stuff?
Yeah, I said the same thing.
I was like, this is either going to be really fun or this is going to tank. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not going to have fun on this podcast at all. Bro, we got him on and had a blast. That's the craziest thing about this is like, now we're like all cool with the fling golf guys. We love fling golf. Like we got our sticks, dude. Like they're cool jokers.
I mean, they're doing a thing overseas right now. There's a tournament going on overseas. It's like crazy.
It's basically a Cup of fling golf right now. They're playing the UK. The Team USA is playing Team UK, which is wild. But it was like, it's little things like that where you see people's stuff. You see people will reach out to you. You'll reach out to other people. and you're just thinking, I really hope this conversation goes good.
Yeah.
I really just hope this conversation goes good. And 99% of the time, you just make a new friend, and it's all. But that's a pleasant surprise. Is like all that.
And the best part is it's so much easier. Like I see a lot of people like with their podcast, they expect to like one go in instant success, which it's not. This shit is a grind. Like to organize this shit, it's a second job. It literally is. Like I started off doing like 1-2 a week, and then it got to the point where I just was like, all right, I want to get as much content out as I possibly can to really get this thing moving. So I started doing them literally like pretty much every day. Like there's a couple I'll miss here and there, but I'll take like there's certain nights I'll record 2 or 3 and I'll bank them. And then like just to get like I have a couple of nights where the wife and daughter, they go out and do like a little mommy daughter night. So I'm like, all right, boom, let's book 3 or 4. Let's get this cooking. And I help out my buddy Anthony with another podcast. So like I stay busy doing it, but I enjoy it. And I'm making connections, making some moves with it, starting to make some financial ends with it. So it's working out pretty good, but it's not easy. It's really not easy at all.
Yeah. I think that at the end of the day, that's with us is like, dude, as long as I'm having fun with it, I'm okay with it. But as soon as I start hating it, like, dude, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Then that's when, it's like, I should probably stop this. But most of the time we have fun. I mean, it's funny because there's some people we'll talk to who are like, this probably is not going to be that good. And then you're pleasantly surprised. You're like, hey, that was awesome. Like, I actually really enjoyed talking to that person. And, everyone's kind of different. It's all just so like, it's so crazy, but we love it. I mean, I've had a great time so far. I mean, and it like you said, dude, it's a second job, bro. Like it really is. And that's why, I mean, me and him have gotten to the point where we're like, bro, it's fun. We only try to do 1 a week. And the only times that we try to do, well, the crazy thing is like we recorded one yesterday. We're on with you tonight. And then we've got one on next Thursday and then one on Sunday. But it's usually like we have some
Thursday, bro.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is, bro.
Next Thursday, you said it was the 27th.
No, next Thursday, bro. You said it was cool.
You guys are the best.
Brothers. I know, dude. This is what we do.
But this is the best thing, though. You guys can be like, that's the thing too. Like you can be yourselves. Like the people who try to put up a persona and pretend they're going to be someone who they're not. Like that's kind of why I went with the pitch putt and putt. That's who I am. That's what I do. That's what everybody knows. Like when we're out there on the golf course, you either see us or smell us, kind of thing. So like, you know what's going on. So like that's like it's easy now. It's easy to be myself, and like I'm kind of attacking that avenue a little bit more, and it's opening up a whole new avenue of opportunities, which is cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of easier to be with me and him. Like our favorite, like I love interviewing people, but you can't, not that you can't 100% be yourself, but because you don't really know that person, you're feeling them out. And by the time that you get to usually the end of the podcast, that's when you're comfortable with them. Because it takes a little bit of time to get comfortable with somebody. But me and Mickey, we're comfortable with each other. So we just start up and like, this fuck it bullshit. Like, like we'll do our thing. But when you're talking to somebody who you don't know, you're not trying to impress them. But you're trying to be like, hey, like this isn't like we are bullshitting, but at the same time, like we want to get to know you. It's just like building a relationship with anybody.
You want to be professional about it.
Yeah, you want to be professional and like,
especially when they're representing their business or their brand or something.
Exactly.
Like that. Like 100%.
So it's hard. It's like a weird line to teeter in a sense of trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. We enjoy it, but like when me and him get together, it's usually like a shit show. But we love it. That's like the best part about it. It's like when me and him get together, it's crazy, and we love interviewing people. But again, you got to work your way into the thing. By the end of it, you're like, holy shit, I wish we talked for another hour, but I know they don't have time or whatever. Right. But you build a relationship like, hey, maybe down the road we'll talk to him again, and then it'll be more natural. Not that it's not, but you build into it.
Well, the thing is like, it's like what you're saying. Like they come on, they're representing their brand, they're representing their product. And I can't tell you how many times I've had some jokes or some stuff I want to say to the guest on the podcast. And I'm like, I would be jumping about 5 steps ahead with this one. And I don't know if they're ready for that. Yep. So like, you got to see how far they want to take stuff. You got to figure out the relationship. So it's not like it's like you said, like, you're not being fake, anything. You're just trying to get to know someone
Right.
and allow them to represent their brand well, while also not stepping on their toes on how they want to represent their brand by like going haywire.
Right, exactly. Read the room kind of situation. Yeah.
All about-
which is really hard sometimes. It's really hard to hold back sometimes.
It is. So because sometimes like a guest will leave like, so the upstate, I do the Upstate Golf Guys podcast with my buddy Anthony and Mike, and Anthony like literally throws me alley oops throughout the podcast. Like he said something like, instead of putting his foot in his mouth, he said something putting his mic in his mouth. And I had to hit him with a no diddy instantly. You know what I mean? I'm like, but you like, Ant, you just set these things up for me, man. I'm like, you just alley oop them. But like, he's like, yo, man, I don't know if we should talk about. I'm like, dude, people don't care.
No,
they really don't. That's the thing. At the end of the day, you're trying. Like I know, and Mickey knows. Like people really don't care, and they just want to be entertained and like, okay, this is fun to listen to. I know people are protecting their brand, but at the end of the day, like if these certain places would realize like everyone's normal, that's the thing. Like I think we've learned that over the last few years, like cancel culture type stuff. Like very few people actually care, and I think the few people who actually care don't really care. They just pretend that they care.
Well,
like,
and here's the thing: the only people who get canceled are the people who allow someone to cancel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 100% true.
If you just refuse to get canceled, what happens is these people get canceled and then they're like, oh, I got to hold back for a little bit. Let me disappear in the shadows. Or you could just be like, I'm going to keep doing my shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And the ones who keep doing the shit, there's no, there's a bump in the road, but they just keep grinding. It's just, then they find out who their loyal supporters really are.
Exactly. And those are the only people that matter.
Yeah.
Of like famous comedians, all that kind of stuff. And dude, they say the wildest shit on their podcast. And guess what? They're still doing it. And only get more and more famous because people just like people who are real. And if it ain't for you, most people just tune out if it's not for them.
Right. Right. That's it. Just tune it out. Just move on to the next thing. That's the thing. Just if you don't like it, all right, move on. Go find something you do enjoy.
And every once in a while, a Russian bot comes along and tries to make your life hell, and you're like,
"Oh man, I've been dealing with some issues on the Instagram, and I've been getting a couple of my posts flagged for like I'm sponsored by golfercbd.com, and I post their logo, and you can't promote CBD on Instagram, so I get like the notification like this video can't be monetized. It's literally a golf ball that says CBD on it. Like that could be crazy. If I put dots and make it my initials, is that okay? You know what I mean? Like
dude. Yeah, just
yeah, just put Photoshop some dots in there real quick.
Yeah, like, I think our biggest problem on Instagram is that every now and again we'll get followed by fake porn girls. You just got a blog like, hey bro, like get out of here.
Go check your hidden messages and wait till you see what's in there. Dude, it's unbelievable.
That's cool.
They either want to help you grow your social media, or they want to take you in a back room and suck you off.
Yeah, dude, they want to sell you gloves and hats, and we can make these products. Where are you based? Oh, we're in Pakistan. No, I'm all set. How long until you get into my social security number?
Yeah.
Unreal. It really is crazy. So what are you guys plans with the podcast in the future? Where do you plan on taking this thing?
Yeah, so that's a great question. One, we want to keep doing the podcast. One thing that we've talked about is the podcast is what we really, really love to do. And we love having conversations with people. We love having conversations with each other. So we don't ever foresee that ever stopping. But one thing we have really wanted to get into is like sketch comedy stuff. Both of us like comedy. Both of us do a little stand up and we do a little bit of writing, but we were just like, what if we just like started writing some sketches? What if we just dabbled in that and see if we can find a niche there? So like doing things that we enjoy, comedy, also doing the podcast, having conversations. And then we were like, well, I mean, is there a way to see if we can make a little bit of money? So we will, they're supposed to be ready fucking tomorrow.
Nice.
But
they're not.
But we got some like hats coming that we're gonna be like selling. So we're just gonna be doing a little bit of merch stuff too. But we're not trying to.
Which just FYI, you don't make any money off merch. You literally break even when you sell it.
If you're lucky, you break even.
Yeah.
Right.
We're trying to like release stuff that we like, and as long as we make enough money to do
pay for it.
Fuck yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, because that's my thing is like, dude, there's so many cool little things. Because so my background is a graphic designer. I've been doing graphic design for like professionally, like making money out of it for like 15 years. Nice. But I've been doing graphic design for like 17, 18 years. I learned when I was a little kid and started when I was a little kid. So I'm always coming up with ideas for stuff. And my thing is like, nobody's selling like this. And I don't want, like, I want it. So if I want it, what if I just made it and I got it for free because other people paid for it? You know what I'm saying? Like I have certain things that I want to do. So you dude, there's literally, unless you get your stuff in like crazy bulk and from China, you're not making any money, bro. Like you're not going to make a dollar. You're going to break even if you're lucky, like you said.
I made I had a local girl I went to school with. She makes t-shirts. I had her hook me up with like, I think I got like 20, 30 of them just for the guys and gave out to people just to kind of get the name out, you know. I had some towels done. With,
that's awesome.
The custom rag. That's my decoration one. I got black ones made because the thing's so nice. I don't want to get it dirty. And then what else did I do? I did some winter hats. But like that's really like I'll probably do hoodies in the wintertime. But that's as far as I'm going. But because I don't want to do like I'm not a graphic designer. Like I made that logo with clip art, bro. Like I am terrible.
Hey, dude, it gives me South Park Tally vibes.
Okay.
You know Tally from South Park?
I've never watched South Park.
Dude, he's a towel that's high all the time. And he's got like the bloodshot eyes. It's so fucking funny.
I have to look at it.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm actually like I actually took that down on Instagram and put the smoke one up because I was getting flagged for having that thing up. So it's been crazy, dude. But like I have no graphic design skills or like no merch plans. So what I've been trying to do is like I'm part of the Legends Golf Club. We got sponsored by a clothing company I've had on here, 52 Sundays.
Okay.
So they're hooking us up with a bunch of shirts and we're going to promote them on the podcast and do that kind of thing. So like we're working out networking that kind of way because I don't want to get involved in merch. I don't want to go and
neither do we
get 7,000 shirts from Pakistan and China and wherever else to see.
I don't want a clothing company.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'll get stuff for the boys, like the original 10, 12 guys I got, but that's as far as I'm going.
Exactly. And that's like the same thing with us with like, we just did these hats because we know we only got like 24 of them because we know we can at least get rid of 24 hats. Hopefully. Like that's our thing. Is like, we know that we have family who said, yes, they'll get some. We got some friends who said they would. And there's a couple dudes who listen to our stuff and follow us who I know who will reach out and be like, hey, how do I get one of those? But dude, like I'm not, again, that's a whole nother business. And that's something I don't even want to get into because you have to have, if you're starting something like that, you're basically, all you're doing, you have to have a shit ton of money because all you're doing is buying a shit ton of stuff. And you're basically that and a marketing agency. That's all that they are. They're buying merch and they turn into a marketing agency to sell their shit. And dude, who has time for that unless you think that's going to be your thing? And I don't want that to be my thing.
We like talking and writing and stuff way more than merch.
I could definitely see you guys though going this sketch comedy route. Just from like even the clips you post on IG. Like there's some funny stuff. Like when you two were on doing the podcast on the porch. Like, the bickering back and forth. Like I could see easily, you know what I mean? Like sketches, like I could see sketches like that taking off. I could definitely see that route. You guys ever go to Zanies and do any stand up?
Say what?
Do you ever go to Zanies and do any stand up down there in Nashville?
How much when do they let people do stand up at Zanies? Isn't that like once a month?
I think there's an open mic night down there.
I
used to go down.
At a new material Monday, they do new material Monday, but the thing with new material Monday is you have to submit material to them and you have to consistently submit material to them. So if they like your material on a consistent basis, or you have friends who are consistently on new material Monday, that's how you get a set. You can't just go in and sign your name. There's other open mics around town that you can just sign your name that I've done.
But it's still hard to get on because it's not like a thing where it's a for sure deal. Like the thing is I enjoy like stand-up comedy is fun. I enjoy the writing aspect. Like performing's fun, but I enjoy the writing aspect more. Like Mickey does it more than I do now because like he'll do stuff, but every now and again I'll like throw him a joke and be like, I'll write stuff down and he'll use material. Okay, I think this is funny because I mean you did something like 3 weeks ago you were doing something. I threw you some material and it went well. Like
yep. Yeah.
So like I'll just write stuff and like, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, I like that. And then he'll throw it in or whatever because, I mean, stand-up is fun. It's hard. It's nerve-wracking. It's so nerve-wracking.
I'm so tempted. So like I've always wanted to do it. Like literally since I was a kid.
Do it at least once.
We don't really there's nowhere for me to go do an open mic up here.
Yeah.
There's not a spot for any
You
of
got to drive to New York City and find something.
So I honestly think I've been I have a few maybe a solid 7 minutes. And when I go down to the city every year for Christmas, my buddy has a Christmas tree business and it all started right after COVID. I was going down there and helping him deliver Christmas trees and run his stand and all this. Complete and utter chaos for the first 3-4 years. It's finally starting to get a little bit better, but it was nice. I'll tell you, I'm driving like a pickup truck or a U-Haul through New York City, and it was like Dawn of the Dead. There was nobody in Times Square. I'm zipping through. I was making 50, 60 deliveries a day, dude. It was awesome. Now it's back to 30 because the traffic picked up.
Oh yeah.
But, where the hell was I going? But yeah, with going with in the city, I want to go and maybe pop in a couple on a Tuesday night or something, do an open mic somewhere, on Monday night, because I stay down there for a few days, and maybe pop in and try to sneak in for a 5-minute, maybe, but especially down there because no one knows me. So if I bomb, I turn around, I walk out. It is what it is, you know?
Dude, and that's the cool thing is it's
literally that laugh that you get from
it's the craziest high ever.
Yeah.
Bro, it's like a little tickle in the tip of your pecker. It's the best feel world. And it's just you're on this crazy high, and then when you bomb, dude, I still remember the first time I bombed. I didn't realize I bombed because my friends were really nice and laughed through the whole
Right.
But the first time I bomb and there was no friends there to give you fake laughs to make you feel good.
Yeah.
I was in my favorite bar in Nashville. I love this place. It's called Bobby's Idle Hour. They're the freaking best. You can get $3.50 Miller High Lifes. It's the cheapest beer in Nashville. I love this place. And he does some open mics every Wednesday. So I go in for the first one. I did not know the crowd. I absolutely bombed. Bro, I didn't even get a smirk. For 5 minutes straight, I got dead ass sad people in the crowd staring holes through my just soul. Not even a smirk. I ended, and the bartender, who's a buddy, looked at me. He goes, "You want another beer?" I said, "Nah, I think I'm gonna close out on this one.
I'm gonna leave."
See you next
Time to go.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Yeah, so it's crazy. If you love cocaine, when you get a laugh on the stage, it's way better. It's way better than that. I don't know. It's just a different feeling, and you leave with the crazy when people are entertained or you feel like they are, and you see it visually, you leave with the craziest high that literally feels like it lasts for hours.
Right.
So it's awesome.
My wife to watch sets that go well, and she hates it. She cringes. It's the most uncomfortable thing for her because she performs as well. So she's a writer. So she doesn't like watching her performances. She doesn't like performing. And the fact that I want her to watch my performances, because if I got one laugh, I feel so good about myself. And I'm like, babe, watch this. And she goes, why? It literally is the worst part of my night.
But it's one of those things too, you want to find out if you're funny just with your friends because we're cracking inside jokes, or can you really put a joke together, a true joke where it can make everybody laugh, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So that's the tough part about it. You got to find the topic.
You got to do it though. You got to do it.
I'll try it. I'll definitely try it this year when I go down there. I'll figure out where
you got
I can
to
do it. Do a quick 3-5 minutes, something like that.
Exactly.
Sure. So I usually like to wrap this up with a couple golf questions. Start off with what's your favorite club in your bag?
7. My 7-iron, I love my 7-iron because I can, not that I'm going to hit it pure every time, but out of all the clubs in my bag, except my pitching wedge, because I'm good on the pitching wedge too. But my 7, I could be 200 yards, 250 yards from the pin and still choose my 7-iron, knowing I'm only going to hit it like 160, 170 yards max.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I know it's going straight. Like
Right.
95% of the time, it's going around the area I want it to go. But yeah, it's a 200-yard shot. I can hit my 4-iron. I bet you I can make it there. It's like, no, because I'll end up shanking it into the woods. I would rather hit it short and straight with like a 7 because I know I can do it than any other club. I love my 7 though.
Yeah, I'd say it depends on the day. Last time I played, it was my putter because it was the only thing that was semi-working. For that, it was my driver because I hit it straight. Like tomorrow, who the hell knows what it's going to be? It sure is not going to be a long iron, but
Yeah,
No, mine's my 7-iron as well. It's my most versatile club in the bag.
exactly.
I can hit a bump and run. I can, if I really crank it, I can get up there pretty decent, 180, 190-ish if I really let it rip. But I can also hit like a flop shot kind of shot with it to get over a tree if I need to.
oh, yeah.
I love my 7-iron for sure. My putter would be my second. I love my putter. I've been using this Nike Ignite putter. Literally, I've been playing golf for 6 years. And my biggest problem was kind of like you guys were talking in the beginning, like borrowing clubs and stuff like that.
Yep.
I played baseball left-handed. I don't have any lefty golf clubs. So for the past 5 years, 6 years, I've been teaching myself how to golf right-handed.
That's awesome.
So I'm finally got down. I've been keeping it in the mid to low 80s most of the year now, opposed to 120 scores I was putting up 2-3 years ago. So it's been a process, but it comes with the short game, with the chipping and putting, really.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy. What's your favorite course you guys ever played?
Oh man, there's some. We always have fun when we go on vacation because those are like different new courses. Like we played. What was that one we just played? Like a month ago when we went on vacation. What was that? Regatta Bay
I think it was.
in Destin. Like it's always like new courses. Those are my favorite courses to play. It's something that's different. Like we've played
Destin, Florida.
Yeah, in Destin, Regatta Bay in Destin.
How beautiful is that place down there? I went down to Destin last year for a wedding. It's beautiful down there.
Oh, we love it. We go there every year for vacation. So
I've never been to that side of Florida. It was awesome.
Bro,
dude, it's different than the rest of the state.
Yeah.
the Gulf
Totally
side.
different.
I would say my favorite course that I've ever played, and it's probably because it was the first time I actually played a nice course. It's called Legends Country Club down here in south of Nashville. It's where Vanderbilt, their golf team, practices.
Okay.
And bro, it is pristine. It's the first time I ever played a nice golf course. I did not realize how much different it was to hit a ball in the fairway.
Mm-hmm.
Like on a nice course, people are always talked about, oh, it's in the rough, he's not going to be able to do this, or oh, it's in the fairway, he's going to be able to do this. I was like, bro, I'm playing at Munis. The rough is the fairway. Like it doesn't matter. And then I got that course and I was like, wow, this is a game changer. I'd say that's my favorite, only because it was my first time ever playing on a really nice course.
Yeah.
I will say there is a difference between playing on a nice course, like the shots you can, because if you're playing on a Muni course where it's like they take care of it, but not amazing.
Right.
And then you go into a private or a semi-private course who they really take care of their fairways and their greens. You can actually noticeably knock like shots off your score because you can hit the ball better because it's landing on grass that is literally way better. It's not landing in grass that where it's super short and it's like kind of hard underneath because there's dirt or anything like that. Like you're hitting way better because everything's lush and you're just, it's way, not that I'm hitting great shots all the time, but when you're on those nicer courses there, you can tell a difference, like 100% tell a difference.
You're not hitting off a little league infield. You're hitting off of a golf. You're playing at a golf course.
Exactly.
Sure. That's the nice thing about my local course, Freer Park. With COVID, they actually seen how many people are actually golfing. It became one of the bigger money makers for the city. So they invested like $3 million into it, and I would literally put it up with like our local country clubs around here. Like it blows past a couple of them.
That's
like,
awesome.
So it's pretty, and it's they just keep doing improvements. They're we haven't had rain up here in like 2 weeks, and that course is still pristine green. Where 3-4 years ago the grass would be dead, the sand traps would be dirt instead of actual sand, and it was just a shit show. Temporary greens where they had a pin in front of the 10 feet in front of the green with a spray painted circle around it. It's like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a little bit of issues in the Southeast with a bunch of courses over the last. They're getting better now, but over the last couple years, you could tell that a lot of courses weren't. Things weren't growing like they should. There was a lot of like burnout.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the greens were burned out. There was some burnout in the fairways, but it's just the weather. The weather's. I mean, I'm not like a global warming type person or whatever. I do think the weather's constantly changing. I think it's been doing that since the beginning of time. Like nothing stays the same ever because that's just how life is and that's how the universe works. But seeing, you could tell things are changing a little bit. And like because we played at some, there's some courses in Alabama. They're called Robert Trenton Jones courses. And they do this thing. It's called like the Alabama Golf Trail. And he's got like 10 or 12 courses down there that he built. It's like the cool thing to do. And like, they're all really nice, but we played like, they're usually pristine, but I last year I played one of them down in Huntsville, Alabama. It's just like out of this is usually a course that's like a 9.5 out of 10. And when I played it, it was like a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's just the weather's changing. They don't know really what to do because when the temperatures are staying at a place that they haven't been 5 years earlier, it's like, okay, it's winter time, but it's 80 degrees outside, or hey, it's like down here right now. Like usually this time of the year it'd be, in the mid 90s out here, but there's days where it's been like 75 to 80 degrees, and it's literally June. So it's super weird. And I think the weather just screws stuff up, but you can definitely tell a difference.
We got the same thing. Like up here, we played golf in February. I played around in January. Like I pretty much played around the golf every month so far this year.
Dang.
With the weather, especially we didn't get really any snow until the week before the golf course was supposed to open.
Yeah, super weird, but whatever.
Yeah. And then to wrap it up, if you guys had a foursome, you had your dream foursome, who are the 3 guys you would add to it?
Sure as shit, not Brooks.
Tiger, obviously.
I don't know if I'd want to play with him, dude. Is he gonna be? Is he cool?
He'd be fine. I think for one round, just to meet him would be cool. I would put Tiger in there. Can they be non-golfers?
Yeah, anybody.
Dude, Charles Barkley would be in there with me. It'd be Charles Barkley. It'd be Tiger. And I want to say Shaq.
Okay.
I would pick Charles over Shaq. And because I picked Charles, I feel like I can't pick Shaq. So I'm trying to think like the last person who I would want in like trying to think who'd be really, really fun to go. Like I'm trying to think of someone who'd be like just really fun because you got to balance it out. Like Charles would be the comedy on the course, obviously, because that'd be fun to listen. You know how he bullshits. And then Tiger would be the serious one, the super serious one. You got to have like a middle ground, but I'm trying to think who that. I mean, maybe it would just be someone like Shaq because I would like to see him and Chuck just bicker the whole time. Like that'd be funny to me. It's watching them two just do what they do on TV all the time in real life. That'd be hilarious.
I was expecting you to say a comedian. I was expecting a comedian.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking of a comedian too, but like
a Bill Murray.
Dude, he would be a good dude. No, you know who? Bill Murray would be cool. Let me tell you who I would want to. And I said this recently. He died before I could see him. Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Because
Norm would have that dry comedy, just talk like laughing but talking shit in the dry way.
Yep.
I would place him with Shaq and keep old Chuck in there too, because Chuck has like the over the top comedy, like the way he is, just funny person. And then Norm would be just cracking jokes where they're hilarious, but you kind of got to think a little bit. Those are the best.
Yep.
That's how he is.
Can we pick dead people?
You pick anybody you want.
Dude. Okay. So I'm stealing your Norm because that would be amazing. I'd go Norm, Shane Gillis, and this is not a political thing, it would just be really fucking entertaining. Donald Trump.
I want to see if he's as good as what everybody says, or as he says that he is.
Yeah, you see those gimme putts they give him? They're 8-footers, bro.
Yeah, he's getting gimmies at like 15 feet.
Dude, I would 100%. I would love that.
That'd be a good one. I had Tiger, Jordan, and Jason Williams, the basketball player, white chocolate.
Dude,
that's my guy.
Would be fun, man.
Yeah.
That dude's good.
I don't know if I could handle Jordan and Tiger at the same time. Like that would be, I don't know, dude. That would be hard.
It would be tough. It would definitely be tough. So I've been slowly, like, as I'm getting different people's answers, like Trump is the other guy I would probably put in.
Yeah,
for sure. Because you gotta have that even balance, man.
Dude. I still say this to this day. In between the years of 2016 and 2020, Trump was the greatest comedian at the time. Like straight up so hilarious.
Funny as shit.
I don't go on Twitter anymore because of it.
It's like, why would I go on there? It's not as fun. No. Not nearly fun.
And, imagine those two did, like, they actually had to do a debate. He would cook. He would absolutely cook Joe. He would cook him.
Right. Yeah. Well, Joe's already cooked in his brain.
Yeah, no doubt. He's scrambled. He's that commercial from the early 90s. This is your brain on drugs and the scrambled eggs, fried eggs.
Exactly.
He's lucky he's got a pulse right now.
God. We got to debate because it'll be the funniest shit you've ever seen.
It would be awesome. It'd be better than Tom Brady, bro. So that's for sure.
Real.
Yo, but guys, man, I really appreciate you guys coming on. Why don't you let everybody know where they can find you, and then, like, when do you guys drop your podcast? Like the same day, like the same schedule?
No, not at all. Dude, it's so random. Like you said, you do multiple a day. Like we'll sit there. Like it's funny because this one, we're gonna do 4 within the next 7 days, but it's not usually like that because what we try to do is, like, when we get a week book, we block off the rest of the week, so they have to, like, gives us a break.
Yep.
Dude, we try to usually drop on Mondays, but dude, some days it'll be like a Wednesday. We've learned to not do it on, like, Fridays because, like, dude, like, it's the end of the week. Like, people are partying or having a good time on the weekends. They're not just sitting around listening to podcasts. So we try to do it between, like, Monday and Wednesday if we, like, when we do. But there's been times where we drop twice a week. Once a week. Like it really just depends on if because sometimes, like, dude, we have to talk about this. And then we do it, like, we'll drop it tomorrow. Because I don't know how much you edit your stuff, but dude, we literally don't edit anything. We just cut the front off and, like, okay, this is the end, cut it, export it, drop it. Like, I think that's the best way to do it, honestly.
Unless there's something you guys don't want aired, that's the only thing I'm editing out.
Exactly. And I've had 2 times with guests on us who's like, hey, I said this thing that I don't regret it, but I shouldn't have said that. You cut it. And there was one where it had already been posted for like 4 hours. And he was listening through it. He was like, oh, shoot, because he thought about something. We don't think about it because we don't give a shit. Like, we just say whatever we want, and then we post it. And, like, a few hours later, he messaged us, and he was like, hey, do you remember me saying this? I was like, I don't remember it, but I'll check, because our podcast, like, give like a transcript of everything. So, like, typed in what he said, like a specific word. And I was like, oh, shoot. And he's like, hey, do you mind, like, cutting that out? And it's really funny because I literally just went in, and that sentence, I just, like, cut it. And so it, like, doesn't make sense. He's, like, saying something, then it's blank. And then it keeps going. So, like, dude, fuck it. Like, I don't care. And, like, that's the only thing. But yeah, dude, we just drop whenever kind of we feel like it, and we just try to get interesting clips out of our stuff to, like, post on Instagram. I think that's the thing we've realized, and all that. But yeah, we do that. And then I'm just going to take over for you, Mickey. I'm going to say everything and then you can follow up. But on Instagram, Cart Boyz Pod. We don't have anything on you. We do have a YouTube, but we haven't posted anything. But I've been exporting.
Tell them about the YouTube, because we're gonna post some shit on the YouTube.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
get on that YouTube, man. You get a lot of followers through YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I think the YouTube's straight Cart Boyz. We got Cart Boyz Pod, and then we have TikTok. But again, we don't even run our social media. My wife does it. And
Okay.
so, like, we talk to people. Like, she'll like, "Hey, do you want to talk to this person or whatever?" Because she's like, I can't sound like a dude, you know. And she's like, I don't know what to say. So we do that. But she goes in and likes a lot of stuff a lot of the time. And I see stuff like I've seen. Obviously, we've watched your stuff and things like that. Like, we see certain things, but like, dude, I hate. First off, I hate social media.
Like,
I hate social media with a passion, but I know that you need it or you have to have it in this day and age. And so she takes care of it. I hate TikTok 100%. It's my least favorite thing ever is TikTok, but she posts on TikTok too. And I hate it, but I love Instagram. I mean, I have it because I like looking at people's stuff. Like it's the most, but I don't get on like the Cart Boyz. We get on and do, and I like stuff. She likes stuff, but she does a lot of the posting. And shout out to Mary, my wife. She's really good at it. So we're on, I think on TikTok, it's either Cart Boyz or Cart Boyz Pod, CartBoyz, not S, Z. So yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys coming on. Mickey, you got anything to close out?
oh hell no, he took all of it.
I took his glory on that one.
Took the shine. Once again, guys, I appreciate your time for sure. Make sure you guys, everybody goes and check out the Cart Boyz. And I'd like to get you guys back on here. Since you're big college football fans and Florida State fans, Miami, Florida State week.
Oh, dude, we'll do it.
I'm in.
I would love to talk a little shit, and if you guys win, then you just talk shit on us.
All right, bet. Let's do it. We'll definitely be in touch, and we'll get that in the books for sure.
Heck yeah, dude, we're down.
Awesome, guys. Appreciate your time. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Later.
Yeah, appreciate it. Peace.
Really appreciate the Cart Boyz jumping on. That was a dope episode. Those dudes are funny as hell. I've been watching clips of their pod on Instagram for a while. Good content, real funny dudes. Really appreciate them jumping on. Going to get them back on when it comes down to college football season, Miami, Florida State week. Let's go, Canes. But wrap this up real quick. Give a quick shout out to golfercbd.com. What golfercbd.com is doing is introducing a range of naturally sourced products, enhancing golfers' playing skills, capability during the training process, game prep, performance, and relaxation. This product is developed and produced by golfers for golfers, used and supported by performance and professional golfers across the U.S. and Europe. Golfer CBD is manufactured right here in the U.S. Make sure you check them out, golfercbd.com. Use promo code PPP10 for 10% off at checkout. Also, locally, 420bliss, 420-bliss.com, 420bliss at 740 Hoosick Road, Troy, New York. Make sure you stop up there, check them out. Delivery service is available as well. Flower, edible, pre-rolls, tinctures, vapes, you name it, they got it. They got a bunch of nice jaunty products up there, so make sure you take a look. The Amnesia Haze vape is fire. Just finished that one off. We'll be getting into a new sample here soon. Also, you got to check out Trouble Off the Tee, troubleoffthetea.com. Promo code RGB, 15% off site-wide, as well as promo code PUFF for buy one, get one free on the polos. And once again, I always forget to drop this one in the beginning. My apologies, Jordan. We got PPPP 15 for the Putter Shop. Save 15% at the Putter Shop. Up and coming brand new site. Make sure you check it out. theputtershop.com. 4 Ps 15 for a 15% off discount at checkout. Appreciate the Cart Boyz jumping on. Definitely like to get them back on down the road. Real funny dudes, like I said. We'll be back on tomorrow on Tuesday with a recap show. Later. Fairway Mike.
Hey, man.
Fairway Mike.
Hey, man.